those inciting violence would end up in prison at the Agwe says says Ashim. That's on pages 3 and 15 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Okay, develop democratic systems reflecting history, culture, GEJ advises African nations. That's on page 16 for details. Troops rescue another 9 abducted commuters in Kogi. You can find that on page 25 for details. Suspected kidnapper apprehended, cashing out ransom at Kwara POS terminal. That's on page 24 for details. Away from that, again, Nigeria exceeds OPEC quota for third consecutive months. You can find that on page 7 for details. Let me take one lastly on the health corner. Daily multivitamins may help reduce hypertension risk in older adults. You can find that on page 15 for details. All of these are more on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
You already took quite a lot of headlines from that particular paper this morning, but I just want us to focus on the Osun State election, which is like the biggest, one of the biggest stories in the country right now. Talking about Osun Post, Soldiers, Police, NSCDC, EFCC, flood states. Matthew, yesterday on our program Burning Issues, we took a critical look at this state security architecture, generally now as we go into this particular election. We just felt that for a particular state to witness this huge amount of military hardware deployed for election, not just the hardware alone, personnel, flooding a particular state just for one single election goes a long way to tell you the sensitive nature now and how tense and polarized, that particular state has been for a long time. Now we've had killings, political killings in the build up.
29 already credited to Accord, because the Accord members are saying they have had 29 of their members killed already. So I mean, in view of this, it's good that you fortify that state.
Aside from that, some of the leaders have not even been helping issues. Talking about the inflammatory statement and insightful statements has been coming from. In fact, there was one I actually saw that said, "If you are from this political party, do not come out to vote. We don't want you to come out." Urging people, saying nobody is coming out. No, his own is that they are going to, kind of unalive some people if they come out. If they see people on this particular party, although he has come out to he came out yesterday, and he's been trying to retract that statement. In fact, the APC in the state came out to say it's being quoted out of context. I don't know why they're always telling Nigerians that they are quoted out of context when we are trying to scrutinize everything they are saying.
You see, in the English parlance, that's what they call denotative meaning, contextual meaning, and connotative meaning. Now, what communication is only made when the channel is understood by both parties. If people are reading meaning to what you are saying, then it means in the context, and the people who were your audience at the moment, were they following you from the literary level or from the connotative level? So if they are now reading more meanings to it, what was the circumstance through which you were saying this for people to be reading all these meanings to it? So I mean, it's just it's a clarion call to our public office holders to be very sensitive with the way they use their words.
Yes, not just even the way they use their words, it should be sensitive to the particular timing, the climb, the situation at the particular time, because that place is already intense, it's already polarized. So with all we've been saying, don't forget that even in the build up to the election, the governor himself came out to make some allegations against the police.
Yes.
We've seen what the EFCC tried to freeze their account. Thank God for the intervention of president.
Even the governor now. Even the governor now is calling to external forces to come and support them for this election. European Union not to support them. To support them security-wise.
Now, the IGP has sent the IG Mohammed to coordinate operations, security operations in the election. INEC has expressed readiness. Well, we just hope that we won't have glitches right, left, and center. We know that. Hopefully, let's just anticipate that everything will go glitch-free in the election. Police quizzes for Downsi over killings comment, like you rightly mentioned. Now, this one is coming from Kashim. Now, he said those inciting violence would end up in prison at The Hague. Now, The Hague is the International Criminal Court of Justice at The Hague there. I don't know who is going to take, or how are they going to get these people arrested for him to take them to the... Is it that we cannot try them in Nigeria, and our justice system cannot try these guys in Nigeria to ensure justice for whoever is being victimized in this contest. For him to now start, talking about going to the Hague, that's the ICP, International Criminal Court of Justice, over there. I don't know. Is it that he has lost faith in our justice system, that you don't have to just remember, even in the build-up of this election, one of the top musicians in the country actually said he's going to report our president to the United States president. I don't really. Is it that these guys are beginning to lose faith in the justice system back here in the country?
Well, the judicial system in Nigeria too have not over the years, should I say, what's it called, instilled credibility. Understand, for people to believe them, because over the years we've had glitches and compromises here and there. So if you are saying some people are suspecting that maybe there couldn't be fair justice being served here, and they're calling for example forces, so be it. Let them do that.
Well, let me just move on to another story now from that Osun State. And there's this story you also took that caught my attention, Matthew. Why influx of arms at seaports is raising eyebrow. We all know in recent time we've been the custom service and those authorities at the ports have been seizing different arms and munitions that are trying to find its way into the country. These are the ones that they are able to track down. What about the ones that they are not able to? What about the ones that have been able to find its way into the society? Who are these people behind the importation of these firearms, and what is their intention, Martin?
Exactly.
What is their intention? Number one, we just need to go beyond coming out to tell us that we've seized this amount of weapons, we've done it. Who are those people that have been arrested?
And what's the reason behind this?
Yes.
And why is Nigeria a target point?
I won't say Nigeria alone. This is something that I'm sure would have been happening in other climes, other parts of the world as well, not just Nigeria. But let's look at our situation right now, this insecurity situation in the country. Sometimes you see these bandits and terrorists carrying more sophisticated weapons than even the ones, by our own security operatives in the country. These are things that we really need to look at. When you cut the head of the snake, I don't think the body will really. So let's just go after those behind this act. Are they too big? Are they bigger than the law? Are they people that the hand of the law cannot touch? So what is really going on? Who is covering up for who, Matthew?
For those that have been arrested, you understand, there should be further investigation to know who is sponsoring them.
Yeah.
Who is behind all of this.
Yes. All right, those are the stories from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for today. All right, let me quickly start mine from the front page of the Guardian newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, we have this one: Nigeria-US hold fresh security talks amid concerns on fiscal transparency. You can get that on page 3 of the paper. They've been really holding strategic meetings with the US, Farming Alliance. Just 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago? Yesterday, the president came out to say, came out to emphasize the need for global alliance now when it comes to tackling insecurity. Yes, we really took our time to dissect that story yesterday, knowing fully well that as a country you cannot fight this alone. Sometimes it's like it's beginning to go get out of hand. So you need more training, you need collaboration in terms of intelligence gathering, weapons, training of your personnel, and so many other things that we might not even be made that might not be made public to the ordinary citizens. So this is a very strategic meeting, and I know it's all for it's all aimed at positioning the country and ensuring security in Nigeria and safety for us in Nigeria. The National Security Advisor to the President, talking about Madam Nuhu Ribadu, actually led the team now on that particular mission in that context. And then let me move on to other stories now. Picketing. AP says unions will pay third-party compensation. That is on page 4 of the paper. We all know how the airport were grounded. Activities in most of the airports yesterday were grounded due to the strike. Yes, by the union. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Like industrial action, yes. But I think normalcy has actually returned back into that sector right now. 2027, ADC reveals opposition coalition's plan to challenge Tinubu. That's on page 3, Matthew. We discussed this yesterday, talking about the G100 that's trying to gather people in the opposition together to, come out with just one particular candidate to confront President Bola Tinubu. Honestly, I really do not really see how that is going to pan out, because these guys are all ambitious. They have their interests. Well, are they willing to sacrifice their personal ambition to just support one particular candidate to wrest power? How effective will this be? How I don't know. How successful will this venture be at this time?
I don't see democracy playing out in this kind of decision. Because the beauty of democracy is to have a multi-party system where people can choose from. Now, if you are now collaborating, or forming the coalition as the form of opposition, then it means you are reducing the country into what they call two-party system. Is that what we want for our democracy?
Matthew, if it is just two-party system, fine. Now we have multi-party system. What is the ideology of most of these parties? What do they stand for? Both parties that we do not even know them, even from the council or the grassroots level, we cannot even identify them.
So is it this coalition now that will give them a better ideology?
Well, I'm not saying it to give them better ideology, but if they feel that coming together in the U.S., how many political parties do we have in the U.S., Matthew? We just have the Republicans and the Democrats, and once in a while we have independent candidates. In the U.S., I mean, we have the Labour in the U.S., we have the Conservative. You know, how many do we have in Nigeria? We can. In fact, sometimes you get to you lose count of most of these political parties. You see your ballot paper so long and lengthy, and you see some logos. Sometimes we ask ourselves, is this one even a political party? You know, we don't get to hear most of these people until election cycle as this.
The guest we had yesterday, really took a critical assessment and evaluation of the situation. He was saying that maybe there are too many, like you mentioned, that our ballot papers are usually very long, trying to identify this logo and all of that.
Yes.
Now, but he still said maybe it should be 4 or 5 through which people can make there are different alternatives or options.
Yes.
But reducing it to 2. For me,
I'm not saying just 2. I say just to try to reduce the number of let's have some very serious-minded political parties in the polity right now. Yes. Now, moving on to other stories from the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Donor fatigue, economy take toll on blood donations in health facilities. That's on page 6 of the Guardian today. Rights group CSOs demand withdrawal of foreign aid bill. That's on page 4 of the paper. Kebbi to support families of 10 slain police officers as more terrorists surrenders. Thank God, like we did mention yesterday, a lot to be done to encourage these guys. Thank God that the Kebbi State government has declared that it's going to be supporting the families of the 10 slain police officers, like we allocated for yesterday. 2027, Cross River Kogi introduced new campaign advert tariffs, and that's on page 7 of the paper. Ocean polls, fear of violence mounts as parties, groups trade allegations, and you can get that on page 6 of the paper. Tinubu approves procurement of 35 linear accelerators for cancer treatment. It's on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Now, those are the stories you can get from the front page of that particular paper. Don't forget now, the studio lines are open if you want to call in to be a part of the program this morning. You can call us via 0906 201 1077 0906 201 1077. You can as well call us on 0704 800 1077 0704 800 1077. Matthew.
And now on the Nation newspaper we have this one. First Lady urges youth to embrace education, innovation, entrepreneurship. Okay, away from that, EFCC recovers 115 billion and 67 million oil levies for NDDC. Also, we have this one. US-Nigeria working group meets in Washington. Okay, away from that, the military offensive triggers 213% surge in terrorist surrender, Theta Command. Okay, and the last one I'm taking out from the Nation newspaper is campaign for Tinubu's second term must be based on facts, figures, says Speaker Abbas. All of this on the Nation newspaper this morning.
And let me quickly run this one from the front page of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. US-Nigeria holds fresh security talks in Washington. That's on page 8 of the paper. Jingir, no regret supporting Muslim and Muslim ticket. That's on page 9 of the paper. We've flogged those issues a while ago, so I don't want us to retreat that again. Let's move on now. Rates of surrender by terrorists rise 213% in 1 week. That is credited to the Nigerian military. Okay, let's see if this call is for us this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, your name and where you're calling from, sir.
Yeah, kudos to you people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Go ahead with your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, please, you just allow me, please don't be annoyed. Just I want to deviate from all the topics, just to deviate.
All right, go ahead, please. Let's see.
I want to talk about this about Orida the chairman. I can't see any performance this man is doing.
Okay.
Other chairman.
We understand, but this is not the program.
This man doesn't have anything.
Okay, thank you for calling. This is not the platform for that kind of a program. I think maybe if you have, if you can come to the station, maybe later we will have time to talk with you and probably try to balance all sides to this particular issue you just raised this morning.
We might even invite the.
That's why I'm saying that if he comes around, we'll speak
Mm.
about it and then we can see how we can balance the whole story before going on air. To be fair on the particular, yes. Thank you so much for Stephen for calling this morning. Yes, let's go on with other stories for this morning now. Nigeria fails physical transparency test for second year. That is credited to a U.S. report. That is on page 5. This is something that is worrisome as the Nigeria fails physical transparency test. Okay. I just hope it's not the same person. But let me see. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Roland.
Yes, thanks for joining us, sir. Your name, sir, where are you calling from, please?
Good morning. This is Ijabiken from Ijabiken.
Okay, thank you for calling. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I want to talk about this insecurity.
Yes.
When you look at the way our leaders are approaching this issue of insecurity, the political will is not there.
Mm.
They are always after their political aspiration. They want to spend 6 years, they want to spend a year, they want to spend 10 years. So they don't want to step on toes. That is why they will arrest bandits, they will arrest kidnappers here and there. And before you know it, they are released. They are given amnesty because they want to win the next election.
Yeah.
Until they consider the welfare, the security of life and property of the citizenry, they will continue to and live out their personal aspiration, political aspiration. They will not be able to do anything. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you for calling. Yes. Nigerians are really taking the issues of this insecurity seriously because, truth be told, it is not something that should be left to the security apparatus alone. We as citizens need to play our part. We really need to speak up more to get these guys to. Yes, I just read the story now that the military is coming out to say the rate of surrenders by terrorists rose by 213% in the last 1 week. We've been seeing the way they've been surrendering their arms. But like we used to say, if you come out and surrender arms and they give you amnesty, is that what is supposed to be at play? What about the crime that you've been committing with those arms? I think it should go beyond just surrendering now. It should go beyond. It should prosecute these guys further. Yes. So to serve as deterrent to others. You can't just go and commit a crime and you surrender and you say I'm laying down arms and they give you amnesty and that is.
And you become an informant to your to the enemies.
Because of our time, let me quickly take some of these other stories from the front page of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Food production. Federal government firm unveils policies target tractor assembly plant. That's on page 9 of the paper for today. Inciting comments. Police grill Fadaunsi for 2 hours. It's on page 14 of the paper. Naiti report. EFCC recovers over 115 billion naira debt for NDDC. Clears 19 oil companies. That's on page 19. New army battalion takes off in Kwara. It's on page 34. And foreign aid bill sparks fury as rights groups fear crackdown on civil society. That's on page 31 this morning. Those are the stories you can get from the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Very quickly, let me just take a few from the front page of the Punch newspaper.